Good day, everyone. This is Meredith Leon McCormick for Worldwide Magazine. We are back at it, and this time, summer's coming soon. Yes, I know spring is here, but we're preparing for the summer weddings. Today, I have with me a dear friend, an old friend, an industry friend, Mr. Eugene Davis.
Hey, how you doing, Meredith?
How are you, Eugene? It's been such a long time.
No, I'm great. I'm great. God is good, and we're just moving forward in everything that we do. And I see you're doing amazing things too.
Aw, thank you. You're back in America. You left.
I'm here. I'm back.
You're back home. You're back
Yes,
home.
yeah. I'm not back in New York, but I'm back here.
Yes. So let's give people a little bit of background about who you are and the industry giant that you always try to keep a big secret. Please tell us your full name and your occupation.
Okay, my name is Eugene Davis, and I am a fabric of hair expert, which means I deal with all textures of hair and all types of hair. I don't just concentrate on an African American hair type or a European hair type. I like to address and teach and educate people to understand all hair types. I also do product to consumer education, which I work with brands to help them understand who their consumer is and help the consumer understand the process that it takes in order to make that hair product work. Because for so many times, people say, oh, I've used Redken, or I used this, or I used that, and it didn't work. And I was like, well, what was your process? How did you use it?
Mhm.
Did you follow the manufacturer's instructions? And so many times people don't like to read. So I like to do visuals to show them and educate them and other hairstylists on how to understand the process to make the product work for them.
I've
So
never heard of a hairdresser, hairstylist, hair expert tell us to read and know our process. Because
it's so important.
you're right. We don't read. We're just like, well, it says to put it in my hands and that's it. Wash before or after, and we think and that's it. And then I wonder, wait, why isn't my hair doing what it says it's supposed to do?
Exactly, exactly. Because I found too that in the processes that, like, let's give a perfect example, like a lock system, LOC, leave-in conditioner, oil, and cream. If people follow that simple LOC,
Mhm,
they, especially with the natural hair movement and the curly textured hair movement, you
mhm.
follow that, you'll find that your hair is locked out from humidity, that your hair stays curly, and it stays the shine and the vibrancy is a lot more. And I think people just never thought, oh, if is that the key? And I said, what you want to do with that is you want to put the product in, but do you want to seal the cuticle down at the same time? And people leave it open and go, oh, it didn't work because my hair is frizzy. No, it's not frizzy because you didn't follow instructions. Simple.
Keep it simple, right? So
Right.
now, this is interesting because we as consumers, and I'm going to count myself as a consumer, even though I consider myself an expert in the beauty industry too.
Yes.
But that's because I'm only an expert based on the relationships that I have with people like you. So let's
Correct.
talk about
Absolutely. Mhm.
that. I I feel that I always I think I know what I want with my hair. I think I know how I want it to look, but I know for a fact as I age and I get older that I'm not being realistic. When did you realize that you are not just a hairdresser that makes the girl look good and you come in and you show me a picture and you say, make me look like this? When did you realize this was your calling about healthier hair and teaching, educating people on the processes of having good hair?
Okay, well, I think that question is like twofold. I think when I went to England, and maybe in that process of being there about 7 to 10 years, I realized that there was a lot of demographics of hair textures in England. We have them in America, but I don't think America at the time was open or understood it. So with dealing with people directly from Dubai, or dealing with people from Brazil, or dealing with people from Africa or Jamaica, or the different, the colonizations of communities that England was allowing into, it was a diverse hair plethora of
Mm.
people and textures. So in that time, I realized that there wasn't a complete understanding of how to make hair do what you wanted to do. So with the influence of a lot of the African countries, they weren't relaxed. They were relaxing their hair, but they weren't relaxing as much. People coming from Jamaica were doing two-strand twists, or embracing their own texture, and they were using oils and different kinds of berry juices and things to make the hair react different. So in that time, I started to say, wait a minute, there's more to hair than what I know, coming from America, and where we were relaxing and we were blow drying and we were flat ironing and curling ironing everything. So it
That's
go ahead.
interesting that you said that, because you're literally telling me that the community in which we live in impacts the way we envision our own beauty and how we process our own beauty. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And then when America started to embrace natural texture and understanding it was okay to be who we were, and we started to search out and find products and create products that would complement our hair textures, no matter if it was, because we can be a 2A to a 4C. It,
Mm-hmm.
our community varies. There is no one set formula. So which I think is wonderful when it comes to the different products that are out there, and the creativity of our community that have allowed us to grow in the hair space and become an authority on all textures. Because for us, it wasn't about just being able to do African American hair. We had to do everything, because you don't go to a dentist and say, I have black teeth or black gums. I have teeth. Okay. So it's about just hair and the structure. And that's where Fabric of Hair came about, because I've always been an advocate that I treat the fabric of hair just like a designer treats different fabrics: silk, satins, cottons, leathers. It's the
It's still
same.
fabric, but you just treat it differently in how you sew it, how you clean it, whether you
There you go.
wash it or dry clean it, or anything else in between.
There you
I
go.
think it's brilliant. So now that you've seen this evolution, you believe that this happened, this awareness that you might have already had. You knew this, but it wasn't until you left America and you lived in England for quite some time, and
Yeah.
you saw, the vast majority of people that were willing to come to you as a hair stylist, not a
Mhm.
black hairdresser. Unlike America, for a long time, if you were a black woman would not, and still doesn't feel comfortable going to a white,
Yes.
hairdresser if they don't feel comfortable that you know how to work with curly hair, if you know how to work with straight hair, and if you know how to work with weaves and extensions and so on. So
Correct.
you feel that but how, I know you feel that way, but how does a average consumer, let's pretend I'm an average consumer, how do I find the right hairdresser to help me take care of my hair?
Well, I think the key is, you as a consumer, you need to ask questions, you need to do your research, and you need to know that whoever you go to, you can't just rely on Instagram pictures. If you see someone, they're doing great stuff on Instagram pictures, that's great, but you need to find out, what is that person's ethics. uh does that person actually care about the hair, or is it all cosmetic, what we're seeing on
Mm.
pictures? And so many times, people like, oh, I've gone to so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so, and my hair's never right, because you didn't investigate the fact that, does that person actually understand hair, or
Mm.
is that person just a great stylist?
Right.
Because we because we have so many filters and so many things, and we're all insta famous. But if you look at some of the following of really good hair, makeup, nail people, they don't have 265K followers, because they're not filtering. They're giving information that people don't want to know. They want to know that I can get it tomorrow. And they're like, no, if you want this to look like Kim Kardashian, then we're gonna have to groom you and treat and conduct in a way that your hair can get to that point. And if it's and being honest, that saying, okay, if you don't want to wear a wig, you don't want to wear a weave, and you want your hair to be healthy, your hair, your DNA doesn't talk about this. It doesn't say that this is going to be you. So let's work within your parameter to get you.
Mm. Wow, that's deep. So again, it goes back to self-love and self-care, which is a big thing right now. But
Yes,
we say that, but it's, in my opinion, it still seems very superficial. You know, it's like, what kind of chemicals can I throw on me and make me look different? And it's like, wait, self-care means you're going to take care of who you are, where you are exactly at that space.
exactly.
It's not that, you know, we're not telling you that you can't have a wig one day and then take it off and have short hair, but are you, even under your wig and your weave, are you taking care of your own natural hair?
That's
You know?
it. That's the key. And it's been about self-gratification for so long. And I think the
Mhm.
pandemic has taught us, when you hear the key thing about soul care, self-care, hair care, skin care, nail care, all of that, in the pandemic, wasn't those things, that comfortability wasn't accessible. So
Mhm.
we had to find ways. How do I feel good about myself when I can't get to my hairdresser? How do
Mm.
I take care of my cuticle beds if I can't get to a manicurist? How do I take care of my skin if I can't get to an esthetician? And I think, and how do I do a massage if I can't get to a massage, a masseuse?
Right.
So in that time, I think people had to take a step back and say, okay, let me investigate how to take care of me. And in that, we've started to get educated consumers, people who are not going to be hoodwinked or finagled by Instagram or people just saying, I can do this. You know, I want to know, if I'm going, like you said, if I'm going to put a wig on, what is my hair doing underneath? When I take this wig off, how is my hair going to be? What state is it? I
Right.
need someone to help me to understand how to take care of me,
Right.
when I take all the facades off.
Yeah. And I think that's really important. And it's taking off all that layer. We're layered. We're such we've complicated things. Life is
Yes.
complicated. And now we keep adding things on and on and on. So this leads me to one more question. And my question is pricing.
Mm.
Again, this is one of the most challenging things that I've always found, even when I was doing nails and even now producing weddings and events. It's so challenging when you tell people a price. They, you know, it's a quick pushback and they're looking for a discount. You know,
Yeah.
not that discounts are wrong, because we should all be shopping around. I will never tell
Of
someone,
course.
you know, everybody wants to save a couple of dollars. Nobody, even the wealthiest of all people, they don't just say, oh yeah, yeah, whatever. No, they wouldn't be where they are if they didn't calculate their costs. But what I think people fail to realize, that you're not paying the person for putting a chemical in your hair or for curling your hair, because you could do that yourself. You're
Yes.
paying them for their experience and their expertise and years of training. So what are some of the things that determine, from your perspective as a professional, that determine your prices and why you charge who you are? Because you have a long history in the fashion industry.
I think for me, my pricing comes from, like you just said, from experience. It comes from, I mean, I've been in the hair industry 35 years now.
Hmm.
So I'm a grandpa in this. But at the same time, I'm
You're
still relevant.
seasoned. You're well
The
seasoned. You're
season. There you go.
fermented. You're fermented.
There you go, like fine wine.
Exactly.
So yeah, and I think that it just comes from being confident in what you know you can deliver. As we've worked together for years, so you know as well as I do, through fashion weeks, the pressure that goes on with coming up with a look and make sure it's consistent and relaying that to your people and making sure they're doing what they need to do in order to deliver the complete vision. So I think being visionaries,
Mm,
um, we can demand or request what we think we're worth, and get what we're worth because of the years of experience, because there aren't any mistakes. I
right,
mean, we all make mistakes, but at the same time, they're minimal. You
right,
know what I mean?
right,
Because we've been in every situation,
right.
upside down, hanging from a chandelier, doing nails, makeup, and hair. We've been there. We know
Under
that.
the table, get
Right,
her out in 5 minutes, and
ex-
the show is running out now, you know?
right, exactly. So we've been through it and we've paid the cost to be the boss.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right. So when it comes to experience, we got it. I feel that, and that's what people pay for, that knowledge. And then when we show up, we come over prepared
Absolutely.
because we know all of the just in case, just in case, just in
Mhm.
case. We got it. They be like, "Dang!"
Right,
I mean, I show up with lights in a mirror just
right,
because, whether I use it or not, because
exactly.
we've been in a situation where there was not enough lighting.
Right.
Or we've been in a place where we want to see what the model looks like and we can't because there's no mirrors. So I just come with everything, and that comes with experience, ready to go to deliver. And because of that is why I charge what I charge, and why I believe all of us as experts should get our due when it comes to what we do.
Oh, agree with you 1000% because my little kit as a manicurist was at least 70 pounds because I brought
There you go.
every brand of nail polish that I can get my hands on, from
Yep.
Essie, Dior, OPI, you name
Yeah.
it. And then I brought every sort of nail tips just in case they wanted nail tips. And then
There
you
you,
bring the extra, the acrylic, the colored acrylic, and then
there you go.
hand lotion, the waxing, everything we brought
Everything.
just
Yes.
for them to say, "Oh, we just want nude." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Right. Child been there.
You can never say no, and then we had to bring extra bottles just in case. We had
Yes.
to mix two colors to
That's
create the
it.
one they think they want.
That's it.
So,
That's
and I
it.
and I know that with you guys brought wavy hair, curly hair, long hair, short hair, blonde
Yes.
hair. You had to.
Yeah. And it's so funny you said that, because the last shoot that I did, I brought 2 bags of hair, and they said, "Did you bring the whole wig store?" I'm like, "Sure did," because I have no idea which direction you're going in. So just in case, like you said, I got blonde, short, long, curly, wavy, kinky, you name it, we can do it.
Yeah, and I think one thing I do have to say on the issue of race and hairstylists in our industry, for such a
Mhm.
long time, few of us were allowed to do the bigger and the mainstream. We had access to it. A
Yeah.
very few of us made it to that level. But 90% of the time, they assumed if you were a black hairdresser, you could only do black hair. While in fact, it was actually the other way around. The white hairdressers could not do the black hair. And I hate to say it, we've been on shows that some of these hairdressers have 2 and 3 people braiding one
Yeah.
model's hair to get a
Mhm.
look. And I'm like, I could get my daughter at 15 to do a whole head. And so,
Yes.
lack of opportunities that were granted to us, but yet we still made it because you were doing some major peoples like what? Little Kim and other Felicia Rashad. You worked on Broadway plays. You did a lot. Can you tell us
Yeah.
a couple of people?
I worked, of course, I worked on Cat on a Hot Tin Roof with Felicia
Mhm.
Rashad, Sanaa Lathan, James Earl Jones. Um, oh my God, he's gonna kill me. I can't remember his name.
Steven?
Uh, oh, Steven. Yes.
Yeah.
What is
Mhm.
Steven's last name? He was a
I,
producer.
Yeah, I forgot Steven's last name
Yeah.
right now, but
Yes.
mhm.
He got me onto that in London. I like I said, I worked with Little Kim, Mary J. Blige. I had the privilege of working with Aaliyah before she passed away. Um, I have worked with who's a hot commodity right now. Her name is she's the one that's doing Ann Bolden. Oh my God, she would kill me because I just talked to her. Um, oh my God, sorry Meredith. You know, on HBO and Bolden. Let me just kind of pull it up real quick.
I know all the people you've done. I remember you and I were on set. We went to Bonaire, West Indies. We've done
That
photo
was amazing.
shoots, hair. We've done bridal shoots. We've done fashion spreads, swim stories, and everything in between. And for us, it was just about being prepared and having the editors know who we were, that trusted our skills, because we as Black artists in this industry, when we go to hair school, because you're a licensed cosmetologist, you're
Yes,
just
I am.
hairdresser that just picked up and you liked it, you're licensed, so you know the business end of it and you know all hair textures. And I feel like that was one of the things that they failed to acknowledge about us as Black and brown people in the industry, that we had to know white hair because that's all they taught
Yes,
in schools. I'm sorry?
exactly.
Yeah, and so for
We
us,
have a choice.
yeah, but
So
then at home, we're doing our grandmama's hair and we're watching
exactly,
everything else.
exactly. So that's why when the whole like things opened up, and,
Mhm.
and and that's one of the reasons I went to London, was because I needed to know, was I a great hairdresser or was I just a great Black hairdresser? And I
Mhm.
had watched a documentary on James Baldwin, and that inspired me to go at that time, because he was like, I needed to know if I was a great writer or
Right,
was I a Black writer.
right,
And those judgments, when you came to England and you came to Europe, look at Patrick Kelly, Willie Smith,
right,
all of Josephine Baker, all those great people who went to Europe in order to expand their creativity without the judgment of their skin color.
right,
And
right,
that was for me, and the community over in England embraced me to where I was just a hairdresser. And I was a hairdresser that had an advantage because I could do all
right.
textures, And I was Jody Turner Smith is who I was talking about.
Yes, Jody.
Yes,
I knew it, Jody. Gorgeous,
yes, yes.
gorgeous.
Yes, I had the privilege of meeting her early on in her career and having some fabulous shoots with her, and to see where she is now. So I've experienced so many great people in my career, and some we've even worked together,
Right.
especially in the Black Elegance days.
Oh my
We were
God.
always doing celebrity covers.
Salt and Pepper, Earth the
Yeah. Oh,
Kid.
Eartha Kitt.
Yes,
Yes.
we were with Earth the Kid. That was a joy. And
Yes.
every new movie, the greatest Black actresses, Latanya, um,
Yes.
all of these people, we had an opportunity to work. And it always saddened me that we were so segregated from in the industry, and they failed to realize our true talent and our versatility. But yet
Exactly.
we never gave up, because 35 years later, look at, we're still here in the game.
That's it. And that's the incredible thing, is like we were the pioneers. We were the glass ceiling breakers.
Right.
That yeah, and I'm so thankful for the career that I had and the friendships and the relationship I have with you over all these years,
I
because I
know.
couldn't be who I am without you. You
And
understand?
likewise, because after I was ready to move to the next chapter of my life as a manicurist and a celebrity manicurist, and I started to see the industry have an influx of people coming in, I knew I had to do
Yes.
something immediately. And that's when I launched my nail polish line.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I knew I had to expand and go outside. I went to Miami, which was great for me. But when you and I reconnected, you started getting me into shows in London. I was doing London Fashion Week. I remember coming for one day.
I
You guys would
remember.
have 3 shows lined up for me. I would take the last flight in New York,
Yep.
get there in the morning. You guys would pick me up at the airport, drop me off, have the team ready, and
Yep.
nails were on and popping. And I think that's when I first physically met Anna Wintour, was at
Yes. Yes. I
one
remember.
of the big shows, and then once we mastered that after 2-3 years, I was going to Paris to do
Yeah.
shows because your wife, Selena Davis, was my management in Europe. You guys were knocking it out for me, and it just kept growing. And then I turned around and I met Alex Fox with you guys, started writing for the magazine, and it was absolutely amazing. And then she started inviting me to speak. So it's all of these years of experience and relationships is what justifies our price. Like, we're not making it up. We paid our dues, and we're bringing you the best. We're delivering the best to you because we learned from the best in the industry,
That's it.
Wow.
We were pioneers, and we followed on the footsteps of those who came before us.
Yep.
And hopefully that those who come after us can see the breakthroughs and the things that we've established, and will continue to just move forward and march forward in this beauty industry in order to become giants.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the most important thing for you and I. We talk about it a lot. It's always, what legacy are we leaving behind for our children that they will be proud of, that they know that we left the world better than we came.
Amen.
And then at the same time, we don't want to be those selfish people that stop the next generation, because I don't want my industry to die. I want it to keep going,
No. And unfortunately, there's so many people who don't think like that.
I know. And that's the sad part, but there's so much out there. There's like literally, remember when Alex Fox took me to Qatar? I would have never thought that I could leave America, go to the Middle East to do nails at the Tribeca Film Festival there.
Okay.
And it's right here down the block from my house.
Right.
Like, to me, that's the beauty of, expanding our horizon, following our dreams, taking risk, and
that's it. And that's the key word.
Yeah,
you said it, taking risks. And as long as you're a risk taker, you can go so far in this industry, and you can become whomever you want. Because what was when I was coming up, to be a hairdresser was like, oh, because you can't do nothing else. You know what I mean?
It's me too. They
the beauty school dropout.
Yeah, right. The beauty school dropout was a big joke, and you failed. You must have failed all your classes, or you're above, you're lazy.
But some of the best people or have come from the beauty industry. The moguls have done the dirt and the grind and the hustle, and become some of the top people in our industry.
Oh yeah, from the Ted Gibsons, the Pat McGrath.
There you go.
Vincent Longo,
yes,
Sam Fine, all the AJ Crimson, our friend, who we really, oh my God, he was such an inspiration and such a good person about sharing things. So I know you and I and AJ, we did Loy Samuel's show at Grand Central Station because of our bestie, Love Jones, who made it all possible and got all of that done.
There you go.
For free.
Right, but it was amazing. They put me on the map.
Like, we did it. We literally, this guy came, saw what we were doing, and remember, his history is he used to be a stylist. Agent, and then he said no. He started running PR, doing marketing for people. And so when he had an opportunity and he saw what we were doing, he's like, oh, I got a space for you. And I believe the Grand Central Station had never had a fashion show there until we came.
I don't think so.
Never. And then after that, others came behind us.
Of course.
Others came behind us. So for anybody that thinks that they're not enough, any Black or brown person that thinks that they're not enough, they should look into our lives. Our book is going to be pretty juicy.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Eugene, I want to thank you so much. I know you're a very busy man and you're
Thank you,
about to
Meredith.
go make other calls because you're a brand ambassador, creative director for a mobile kind of company, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you're doing now?
Warpaint International beauty agency. Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of the ambassadorship, recruiting other creative talents, helping them with the interviews, and also trying to bring the social media brand a more luxury feel.
Mm.
Because they already do amazing stuff, but we really want to make it more global. So I'm really working hard with them and in conjunction with you, joining
Right.
up with you in order to bring them to a place of excellence.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And it was nice just talking to them and seeing another artist. She was an
Yeah.
artist,
Yes,
an
yes.
artist,
Jessica. Uh-huh.
makeup artist, an award winning one at that, and an educator that she's still excited about the industry. She found her footing in another way. And that's
Yeah.
so important because, people may look at us and say, oh, you've been in it 35 years. Oh, no, no, no. The game hasn't changed. It's still the same.
No, it is.
Still the
It
same.
is.
You just have to be able to evolve, and you better hope you could be in that industry for another 35 years, like I was in it for 35 years.
There you go.
That's
There
so
you
bad,
go.
you know.
Yes.
So I want to thank you so much. Can you please tell us what is your personal and business social media handle that our readers and viewers can find you?
Okay. So on Instagram, I'm Eugene Davis Hair 2.
Okay,
Um, and then on LinkedIn, I'm just Eugene Davis.
okay,
And then my website is www.eugenedavis.hair.
perfect.
Yep. So, or you can email me, eugenedavishair@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Everything's Eugene Davis.
Yeah, no, I will totally put all this information so everybody can follow you. But guys, I just wanted to have this wonderful conversation with a dear friend, and I am going to make it official on this email, on this interview. Eugene Davis is coming back to World Bride Magazine, and he is now going to be our guest beauty expert editor for
Yes.
the issue and doing some amazing things. So we're going to ask you to follow him so that he can continue to enlighten you on the what is it? What's the title? The fabric what?
The fabric of hair. So I go the fabric of hair by Eugene Davis, but when I post it's fabric of hair and then investigates, educates, creates. I put that behind it.
I love it. I love it. I love the title. I think it's amazing. So again, thank you so much, Eugene. I appreciate
Thank you, Meredith.
You're welcome. So, guys, there you have it. Please check out Eugene Davis. Thank you so much for supporting World Bride and all our amazing expert. We promised that we would always bring you the best, and I guarantee you we're going to keep bringing you the best. So, until the next time, ciao, Bella.